Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for my art, Nadine Michelle Art. Thank you all for being here with me today. So what I'm planning to do today is a swipe. I'm going to use these palette knives to swipe, and I've been having a lot of fun learning this technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do probably 3 or 4 swipes. I want to leave some negative space, and then I kind of just want to practice how to swipe because I'm still learning. So this is a 20 by 20 Artist Loft gallery wrapped canvas. This is a level 3 with the deep edges, my favorite kind. I put hooks on the back of my canvas on all 4 sides. I do this to raise it off my table to help in the tilting process and to help level it as well. I also put painter's tape on the back of my canvas to help so it's not quite so messy. I don't care if it's a little messy, but it gets to be super messy if I don't put tape on the back. Another thing I always do is I always paint my sides and my edges, and I do this so my canvas doesn't show through. This is just a step I do not skip anymore, and I always use straight acrylic paint to do this. Next thing I do is I always spray the back of my canvas with water. You want to do this so it is tight. You do not want it to be loose and saggy, or all your paint will pool in the center. Once it sounds like it is tight like a drum, you are good to go. The last and final thing is we have to level our canvas. Do not ever skip this step. You will regret it. I have had paint go rolling off the sides and edges because I skipped this, and make sure all 4 sides are level. Do not skip this step. Trust me, I have learned from experience. So in order to find out how much paint we need for this canvas, we multiply our length by our width, which is 20 by 20, and then we divide by 28, and then we come up with 14.3 ounces of paint. The colors we're using today is Liquitex Basics Mars Black, Liquitex in Phthalo Blue, Liquitex Lime Green, Liquitex Phthalo Green, Decor in 24 karat gold, Golden Heavy Body and Permanent Light Green, Amsterdam in Titanium White. So for this technique, I'm using the Liquitex Super Heavy Gloss Gel in place of the GAC 800. My pouring medium is about 75% Floetrol to 25% of the gloss gel. And this amazing stuff is Australian Floetrol. We will use this for our cell activator only. And this is the base coat I'm using today. It is the Mars Black, and it's mixed exactly how all my other colors are mixed. It leaves a small mound, but then it disappears. And here is the consistency of my colors. You want this a little bit thicker than your base coat, so I would say it leaves more than just a small mound, and then it disappears. It's just a little bit thicker than my base coat, okay? My cell activator is mixed 3 parts Australian Floetrol to 1 part Amsterdam paint. Make sure it's Amsterdam or it might not work, you guys. I was trying to show you the consistency, but you really cannot see it here, so it's just a little bit thinner than my colors, just so it can glide over my colors, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my base coat down, and you don't want to put your base coat across your whole canvas. You need to leave room to stretch it. I'm going to put my colors down in lines, and then I'm going to swipe over it with my cell activator, and hopefully I'll get something good. So I'm putting my base coat on my canvas now. One problem I was struggling with was the amount of air bubbles in this stuff. You really have to torch to get all these bubbles out, and you'll see them in a minute because they're really easy to see. No matter how much I torched, it's like you have to keep going back and really babysit these in this technique, okay? I started out using the gloss medium in my mix, but I could not get the air bubbles out. No matter how much I torched, I tried it on coasters and canvases, and when I went back to it, there was all these pinholes and everything everywhere, and it looked like I did not torch at all, but I did. Okay, and now I'm laying all my colors down, so whichever color you put first, that's going to be your most predominant color, because when you stretch it, you know, it's gonna go off towards the corner, the opposite corner. So I wanted it to primarily be the permanent light green because that's my favorite green. So I put the most of that color on. And then I did not want a lot of blue, so I am just using a stick to put that on. That is why. And then you will see in a minute with the gold, I did the same thing because I did not want it to overtake the painting. Okay, now we're gonna put our cell activator on the back of our palette knife. You wanna put this kind of liberally, but not like too much to where it's dripping off or anything, just a good healthy amount, okay? Okay, and then we're gonna swipe. Some tips with swiping. You want to angle your palette knife a little. You want to go very, very slow. Slow and steady wins the race here, you guys. Trust me, very slow. So all those chemical reactions can take place. You have to use the right amount of pressure or you will not get the right cells. As you can see, I still need some practice with this, but that's how it works. You have to practice. Me personally, you guys, I prefer to put one set of lines of colors, then swipe, then go back and put more colors down, and then swipe again because I can kind of see my composition more that way. I can't really visualize it in my head with just doing all the lines of colors at once, but that's just me. And we're putting more lines of colors down because I want to do some more swiping, so that's what I'm doing. Now you really have to work at the amount of pressure you're using. As you can see, some of like the end of my swipe, it's a lot, like the cells are a lot smaller, so I still have to work on that, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna mess with my composition. I like to wreck things and do the drags and scoops and make it more abstract. That's just what I like to do. So I'm gonna mess around with the composition for a while here and do some smaller swipes, and yeah. Okay, and now we are going to tilt. Now you guys, I tilt very, very slowly, like extremely slowly. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how slowly I tilt, but I'm not going to torture you and have you watch this the whole time. So the rest of this will be sped up, okay? But I tilt very slowly to keep my cells intact. And now I decided I wasn't satisfied with the amount of swipes that were on the canvas. I thought it would be too plain, so I am adding more color and doing another swipe, and then I'm gonna wreck it and scoop it and drag it a little as well. Okay, and then we're gonna keep tilting. One thing with this technique is it's hard to like, because you have to dump off parts that you like. You do, there's like no way around it, so you kind of cry a little because you have to dump out at least some parts that you like a lot in order to stretch it all the way. But that's just how it goes with this technique. And the perfectionist in me is not satisfied with this part, so I'm trying to fix it, or I'm not really sure what I'm doing, to be honest, you guys. But yeah, I'm a perfectionist, so yeah. Okay guys, so here it is. I think I actually really like this. I mean, there were definitely mistakes made, but that's okay. I have to work on like my swiping technique still because I'm getting like the small cells, but I want some of like the bigger ones, and I think it's how I'm swiping. I have to use like the right amount of pressure, and I also think my cell activator I might have to make just a little bit thicker so it like sits on the top better. It's hard for me to explain, but like it's like a little too thin, honestly. And I also just have to work on how to actually swipe to get the results I like, and that will come with time and practice. But overall, I really like it. I mean, it's not bad for my first try on a canvas. I got some lacing and some good cells, and the colors are really good. I might have to work on like the composition a little more, but overall I'm satisfied. Okay, and now I'll take you guys down and I will show you a close-up of this guy. I haven't named it yet, so I'm not quite sure what to call it yet, but it's really pretty with all my favorite colors, so I'll think of something, but yeah, I really like it. I am wondering though if like there's something to the Amsterdam colors versus the Liquitex, because I used mostly all Liquitex except for my swipe color was Amsterdam. But everybody that I've seen doing these does them with like Amsterdam colors or the piggy pigments. So I think I might get some more Amsterdam paints and then do an experiment and see, because I feel like that could definitely attribute to it as well. I also think I need to work on my composition a little. I think I like it a little more organic and not swiping so much in like straight lines, but more like making curves and turns and everything, so it's more natural looking, but I just have to practice that still. I'm gonna get my edges and then I will take you down for a close-up. Okay, you guys, so here it is. It's so green and beautiful, and I just love it. I mean, it's not perfect, it has room for improvement, but it is not bad for my first one. I got a lot of lacing and cells. I do wish some of the cells were like bigger and not so small, but that's okay. See, this is the part in my swipe that I struggled with. It's towards the end, and I think I wasn't using the right amount of pressure, so I lost like the cells and lacing, or they got really small, so I have to work on that. And I just love this palette so much. Like, I could use this all day, every day. These colors just speak to me so much, and I love doing the swipes. Like, they're really, really fun to me, and I'm really enjoying learning them. I mean, look at this lacing over here. This is just gorgeous. I just love this so much. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial and watching me learn how to do a swipe for the very first time on a nice canvas. And thank you guys for being here with me. If you ever want to check out any sneak peeks of what I'm working on, I have social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and I would love to see you there. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. You can email me or put them in the comments as well. I would love to hear from you. I'm gonna have to figure out a name for this guy, but I will soon, you guys, I promise. Thank you guys all for watching. Now go create something beautiful. Bye.